Last year for the 2022 season, I was brought on at the start of the playoffs for the Boston Celtics official content team as a video producer. I produced content throughout their whole playoff run that eventually went all the way to the NBA Finals. In this video, I will break down some of my best videos that I feel like I produced and discuss how focusing on narrative and storytelling not only allowed me to succeed in this role, but also helped me create some really cool and unique pieces that I feel like cut through the thousands of videos that go out during this very popular period, which is the NBA playoffs. Before I get started with breaking down my videos, maybe a bunch of you that clicked on this video might be curious on how I was able to even get this opportunity to work in the NBA, but also with the Boston Celtics. This is just my version and how I was able to get this opportunity, but there is millions of other ways you can do it. I got this job as video producer through Twitter. I was going through Twitter one night and I came across this tweet from Mark D'Amico, and he posted this tweet that stated, "We are looking for someone part-time to be a video producer for us." I saw that the tweet has been out for maybe like 9 hours already, so already I didn't really pay much mind to it. Something in me was like, you know what, let's reply to this tweet. I literally just put a waving emoji and a smile emoji and linked my website and just sent it off. Come to find out, a couple of days later has passed, I checked my DMs and Mark said, "Are you still interested?" I was like, yeah, I am. So from that point on, I went through the process. I went through 3 rounds of interviews, and thankfully by the end of it, I was hired. Yeah, is it right place, right time? Yeah, it is. I'm in the right place, right time. I saw the tweet. I almost didn't even reply to it, and look where it led me. So always try. That's one of the things. Just always try. If you see something come up, just try it. But I just wanted to share how I got it. And I know there's a lot of young filmmakers, videographers, and photographers that watch my videos. I was asked that question, so I just wanted to start with that. So let's get into it. The first video I made for the Boston Celtics was this video of Jaylen Brown crossover in Game 2 of the Milwaukee series. Let's watch it, and afterwards I'll break down every element about it that went into creating it and how it kind of got to this end result. All right.
Can you just describe what was going through your head?
It's the playoffs. That's it. Survival of the fittest. Every game count. Nah, I was just hooping, to be honest.
I knew that was the biggest play of the game. I have this big play. Now, can I build a story around it? The process of building a story and a narrative for me works like this. Now, again, I'm working with short form content, so this content is only like a minute long max. To tell long stories, you have to be able to tell short stories. And with short stories, there's a lot less room to work with, but it still needs a little bit of something to build, right? So my first thing that I always check off, okay, from a technical standpoint, do we have multiple shots? The next thing I go to is the sound bites. They help push the story so much because B-roll, music, everything else is great, but sometimes there's some dialect in it. That is where you can really push a story and build a story from it. On top of just the games, I was also tasked with capturing the post-game interviews. That was one of the things that I knew was a great tool to have access to, because in my mind, I'm like, yo, I wish I can ask these players questions, but I'm a part-time video producer. There's no way I'm going to be able to ask. So I'm recording the interviews, and the actual reporters, analysts in the room are asking the questions that maybe I want to ask them. Jaylen Brown comes up, and I'm already in this kind of headspace like, oh yes, I want to make something with Jaylen Brown because I know I caught the clip of the night. When he said this, it was perfect. That kind of shifted it from being just a regular highlight to a little bit more developed story and video, getting more thoughts, what was going through his head during that play, why he even did that. When he said kind of, oh, I was just hooping, I just thought that was like perfect, and it kind of cuts also the seriousness of it. And one play kind of developed into a 45 second story that now it's a little bit more developed, and I think added so much more substance to just being a basketball play and turning it into a short form story. That overall process that kicked it all off of just trying to build a story set me up for almost success with the next videos that I was given and I was able to produce. But moving on to video number 2, let's get into it and then break it down after that.
How did you guys lose this game?
We gave it away. That's how we lost it.
Smart, half court, he's picked by Holiday, and that's gonna do it! Milwaukee, a comeback win on the road!
We know we did it to ourselves. They did to us what we did to them the last game at their place, so we just gotta come back out and keep swinging. And really it's simple. If you're not ready to come play the next game, then don't step on that court.
And there's a tap, Smart and Horford. Here's Brown up top for Tatum! Hill's on him. Now 3 to shoot. Tough shot. Jaylen Brown. 3-point. Tatum. Smart on the wing. Ooh, Smart's almost got a lane. And here is Brown between the legs. No. Horford. The follow. Coming off that screen. Now Collinson on Tatum. He goes right. On the Kupo on Jaylen Brown. Brown gets a step. Brown.
Woof, woof. One of my favorites. That one's one of my favorites. I kind of created this one after kind of just a bad game. They lost that game. That was the story I wanted to focus on. It's one of those games where it was like such a great game. I had so much good footage. The whole team had such good footage. This kind of narrative came from just going onto social media platforms and just seeing kind of response of the public and the audience and wanting to shift the tone, right? Everyone just like, damn, we gave that game away. This is my attempt to shift that tone. So in the beginning, the overall narration consists of, oh yeah, we gave the game away. Owning up to that, right? Just to get that out of the way. Yeah, we lost. Oh well, like we gave it away. This is what happened. Yeah, but we're ready for the next one. And if you're not, then don't even step on that court. That is the perfect trail. I feel like you're down, you got the motivation, then the end parts showing all the good in that game, all the recap and great plays of that game. And even with it being a short video, that's a full story right there that I felt like produced a great video. The technical aspects of it. First, 25 seconds, I chose to do it in black and white. That's just a creative choice that I thought added to like that whole failure kind of aspect of the story. Eventually it got saturated and it's a build-up, right? From the music aspect, it's just a build-up through it, using that dialect to build it up. Second half of the video is just a jump, the incredible plays throughout the full game. And it's just all hype. Even in between that, it's just not boom, 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 boom. With a good hype video, I found you gotta have intense moments, then slowly have just calm moments and build it back up. So each play is not like boom, boom, boom. Use a big play, then maybe a still pretty great play, but not like hit like your ears all the time. Really big play, a little bit more calmed. Huge play, and my huge play in this one was the Al Horford kind of putback one. That one was the ultimate one. So it's not always just like one consistent pace, especially with hype videos. But yeah, so that's how I came to video 2. Next 2 videos are ones in the NBA Finals.
We continue to fight. That's who we are. I think it's stuck with us for a reason. We have to be prepared, and that's what it came down to.
All year long, that's one of the biggest. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, to maintain. Just my slang, bang, change the game, it's insane. Bring the pain, hey. And a better block by Brown. White on the drive. Back to Horford for the lead. Keep fighting for the grit, you hear that? Boston up by 3. Tatum with the Euro and gets it to Bull. Get you big time buckets, 1-on-1 on tap. Oh, Williams caught a body underneath. And here comes Boston.
Yeah. If you can't tell already, I kind of cemented my process of the overall storytelling done during this period and just refined it video after video. Just telling the story of that game. Starts with the soundbite, a dial-up clip from an interview, from a post-game interview. That kind of kicks off the story, and then the plays and the overall music. For this video, since it revolved around like a hype video, the music selection I feel was the biggest guidance for it, right? This one was also the first first song that I used that brought in the lyrics aspect of it, and it went kind of back and forth with announcers of the plays. There's moments of build up through different plays, like we saw in the last video with certain examples. That's what I try to do, and follow that kind of up and down motion that you would do in overall storytelling. With hype videos, that's just so simple. You just gotta keep it high paced, fast paced all the time, just keeping everyone engaged, get everyone just like ready to jump out of their seats and just be on that court with them. There's still rooms to kind of develop that, like develop the pacing, develop the story, not having to be like a consistent, even if it's high level, high energy all the time, it still can be kind of very flat. So there's moments in this video where it's slowed down, builds up, might be a play that takes a little bit, that's in more slow motion, that takes a little bit for the ball to get into the basket. The overall kind of factor in the narration was the overall song selection, what was said in the lyrics, keep fighting. That was the overall concept of this, because they had a huge fourth quarter and that they came back from being down and they ended up winning the game. So it kind of worked perfectly for what happened in that game. For the first finals video, I think that one was special. I know that one was special. All right, now one of the last few videos that I made that overall I kind of had creative freedom and overall concept with. Let's get into it, review it, and we'll break it down afterwards. Heat. If I do so say myself, that is heat, man. First thing to tackle is the narrative and the storyline, which was the finals returning back to TD Garden. That was the overall concept that I wanted to make for this video. Very kind of atmospheric centric, revolving around the atmosphere of the garden. That kind of gave me the idea to use chant as kind of the tempo pusher and the pace pusher of the video. The overall background music afterwards also helped pushing it because it had kind of hits, but the majority of the clips was to focus on like the fans and the reactions and use this very silhouette like Lucky, that glow in the dark like Lucky kind of thing, and just really kind of engulf you into where you think you're entering. Think of the other side, like if they're watching this video, what are they thinking? Hit on like a little bit sense of like maybe nervousness and intimidating, the intimidating aspect of it. Once you start hearing that doom, 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 I wanted to match that up with the beat drop of the actual song, but once that beat drops, it just came into kind of reality, right? That's kind of how I focused it. It's like that slow uphill climb, right? And once it got up to here, went crazy. The clips used were just some of the biggest plays already in playoffs. It just kept soaring and soaring and soaring all the way up through to finish off the video. This is one of my favorites. I enjoy this one, but yeah, so those were my 4 favorite videos that I picked out that I wanted to just break down for you guys. It's such a hectic industry, and for that industry, just look insight, doing hype videos, that should be second nature to you, right? Doing just those type of videos, just regular, you sometimes are editing those type of videos like walking towards the next thing you have to do that night. So I already knew I had a scarce amount of time to do what I can do, and I wanted to showcase as much as I could, but that was a little bit of pressure, right? But so I went back to the basics of let's just tell stories. That's how I approach anything I'm brought to, any type of brand I work with or develop content for. I always just come back to tell a story. If it's a short video, long video, it doesn't matter. It always comes back to that, because I feel right now in this very moment where I'm at in my ability, my creative mind, my creative kind of problem solving and storytelling is my most vital attribute at this very moment. If I have a concept for a story and I know kind of, oh, I want to do this, I want to tell this is how I want to tell outlet, then it forces me to kind of figure it out on the technical aspect. Maybe I don't even know how to do it yet, but just that simple fact of just trying to figure it out pushes the technical aspect to different levels that is crucial in your development. For me, that's kind of how I went about this opportunity. And it started with, in the beginning, that one single play, which then led to like longer form videos that recapped whole games. With that being said, I'm gonna make a lot more of these, have so much more kind of different videos in my locker that I just haven't found the right way to kind of go about it. But this is one way I figured out of how to do it and dissect my own work to be valuable information for you guys to use and save. I'll catch you all next time. Always do what you love, be safe, and